criticisms of Mr. Trump include this one by Jeb Bush this weekend when he was speaking with CBS News. I should tell you before I play the comment that one of the things I find interesting and, in fact, very compelling about this is that this comment from Jeb Bush about Donald Trump also featured a new Jeb Bush human sound effect that I have never heard before. Turns out he's got 1 million of these. Watch this. Listen to the little noise he makes.
This is a guy who was a Democrat for most of the last decade. I don't think he represents the Republican Party, and his views are way out of the mainstream of what Republicans think. No one suggests that we shouldn't control our borders. I mean, everybody has a belief that we should control our borders, but to make these extraordinarily ugly kind of comments is not reflective of the Republican Party. Trump is wrong on this. He's doing this. I mean, he's not a stupid guy, so I don't assume he's like, he thinks that every Mexican crossing the border is a rapist. I mean, so he's doing this to inflame and to incite and to draw attention, which seems to be his organizing principle of his campaign. And it doesn't represent the Republican Party or its values. But politically, we're going to win when we're hopeful and optimistic and big and broad rather than, you know, just angry all the time. And this is an exaggerated form of that, and there is no tolerance for it.
He's angry. Donald Trump is a lot of things. I don't think of Donald Trump as angry or as sort of doing a performative angry thing. I think of him as blustery. I guess eye of the beholder, right? I do like hearing Jeb Bush anthropomorphize the feeling of anger into kind of a robot sound.
Rather than, you know, just angry all the time.
I did not expect that this would be one of the awesome things about covering Jeb Bush running for president. But this is a surprising and kind of awesome thing that he does. He makes really weird noises. I mean, it started when he made the sound of Twitter.
That'll light up the Twitter. The Twitter universe, there's some heads exploding right now. It's, I can feel it, like...
Just play the noise. Just play the noise of the Twitter. Just. He makes really great noises. They all sound a little bit like a turkey. Or another kind of bird. He did a different kind of bird when he announced. I didn't think it would be like this covering Jeb Bush, but this is part of the joy of covering him. Admit it. I mean, whatever you thought it would be like to have George W. Bush's brother running for president, you didn't expect that.